Everyone, we made it! This is officially the last video of the spring spinning event, or at least the last one with the guest. Because of that, I thought it would be cool to go back to the beginning, to tie both ends in a beautiful bow. So let's go back to the time I made my first crafty video. Okay, not literally. I just wanted to talk about dolls, because you see, today's guest also makes them, but differently. So let's give a warm welcome to the person who's creating the truest in meaning one-of-a-kind dolls, Lemia Arcane. Hello Lemia, how are you?
Hi Oak, I'm doing great. Thank you for inviting me in your cozy little studio.
I'm so happy to host someone so talented in many various crafts. Could you tell the viewers what kind of arts have you tried out already?
Oh boy, that's gonna be a long list. I work with inks the most, but I also do watercolor, acrylic, mixed media painting, wood burning, leatherworking, sculpting, sewing and embroidery, lino printing, digital art. I'm also a self-published comic author and artist, and of course, I make dolls.
Oh wow, that's a lot! I actually saw some of your works before and I was in awe. Would you say that those skills, or at least some of them, helped you with making art dolls?
It definitely helps, yes. I usually sketch a design before diving into the project, and while I'm working on it, I'm mixing notions of sculpting, painting, and sewing.
Could you tell us a bit more about them? I'm also curious about the differences in the creation process compared to the custom dolls, popularly known as the OOK ones. There is no factory-made base, that's the main difference, of course, but I guess I'd love to know what your creation process looks like and how the approach varies.
I have done customization on Monster High and old porcelain dolls. You're working on a set base there, so even with modifications, you're kind of set by the boundaries of your canvas, so to speak. With a doll made from scratch, I have full control from the start. It does lead to imperfections, but I'm embracing it, as I find it very charming.
They are! So, you were also working with old porcelain dolls? Wow, now I wonder what else is there. I mean, in terms of different ways of making art dolls, have you tried any unusual or more complex ones? For example, making dolls or their parts out of tiny beads, like some people are crocheting with beads. It would look so awesome. Or what about making them entirely from hard materials, or simply constructing their skeletons out of something else?
There are many ways to go about it, yes. My usual workflow goes from sketching the design, making the wireframe, filling up the body with fabric and scraps, and making a bodysuit layer for the skin, to sculpting and painting the head, hands and feet, and making the clothes. But I know some people use a type of 3D printed posable skeleton, or make their dolls entirely out of fabric, using complex patterns to make the joints. It's also possible to use needle felting. Each method has its pros and cons. As for hard bodies, ball-jointed dolls are your friend, and they can be made many ways. Polymer clay, porcelain, or even 3D printed, as that has become more accessible. I do dream of picking up 3D sculpting one day, so I can make my own 3D printed blanks, but I already have too many things on my plate right now. Really, the world is your oyster. Some materials might not be as durable, but I think it's important to experiment, even with cheaper options, and use what's accessible to you. I'm currently using a mix of 2 air-dry clays, since I already have them, despite neither of them being perfect for my need. But mixed together, it works alright. I admit I would like to acquire some epoxy sculpts, but not until I've used up my current clay.
Ah, BJDs, my dream. Maybe owning one would finally motivate me to sew on small scale. Speaking of, are any of the fabrics you use thrifted? Maybe you reuse some other stuff that otherwise would end up in trash?
I absolutely use thrifted fabrics, and working on those small scales means I can use tiny fabric pieces and scraps that would otherwise be discarded, both for padding the body and make the clothes. I try to waste as little materials as possible. Even the wire scraps can be used to shape the fingers, for example. And it's a good opportunity to go through old beads and pearls that I've accumulated through the years. It's definitely a hobby that enables hoarder behaviors. You don't need fancy paints either, but I would strongly advise acquiring a decent sealant. Mr. Superclay is kind of the reference, but there are more options that will be more affordable and or more accessible, like Citadel Sealant, which can be found in Warhammer shops.
True! Also, I think it's the third time MSC got mentioned on this channel. It just goes to show how much of a staple this spray is. From what you're saying, it looks like making art dolls is a very accessible hobby. But would you say it's an easy hobby to get into?
If there's motivation, there's a way. But it is a time-consuming hobby that requires several skills, research, and materials. It took me several years to accumulate all of those and, well, courage, before making my first doll. It has gotten easier after the first one, but it still can be challenging. Now, with that said, I would still encourage anybody who's been tempted to try doll making to go for it. It brings me so much joy to work on dolls, and I still get giddy when I finish one. And it doesn't have to be perfect from the start. My first doll has a lumpy foot because it didn't connect well to the wireframe. Some of them don't stand well, others don't sit properly. With each, I learn new things, but I also make new mistakes.
Mistakes are just part of the learning process. And it sounds like it's truly a craft for all. Thank you so much for that chat. I'm glad we could discuss different ways of making custom dolls. It just goes to show how one topic can be approached in a various creative ways. Please tell the viewers where they can find you and where they can find your creations.
Thank you for inviting me. That was such a pleasure. All my links are on my card at Lemia Arcane. I'm mostly active on Blue Sky and my comics are on Itch.io. And my commissions for digital art are always open.
Definitely check out their art. Once again, thank you for visiting me in my studio.
My pleasure. Bye-bye!
What a way to end the event. I love Lemia's approach to crafts and I'm very happy they agreed to guest in this video. I love when people try various things and don't get discouraged by mistakes. It just warms my heart. Doing something new can be scary or overwhelming, but usually we create for ourselves or our loved ones, so there shouldn't be any pressure. I feel very inspired after this conversation and I hope you do too. As I said in the intro, this is the last video of the Spring Spinning Collapse. Next week we'll sum up everything we've learned those past few months and the event will be officially over. All of the crafty videos can be found in one neat playlist on my channel. But end of one thing means something new will appear in its place. In other words, I'm finally able to talk about all of the delicious things I have planned. Starting from July, you can expect new visuals, new avatar and slightly different content. Crafts, creations and creativity will be still on the forefront, so you don't have to worry about it. But my approach to how I present my thoughts will slightly change. My patrons have known all about it for a month now, so if you'd like to also be able to see the future, join them. Link in the description. Lastly, I'd like to say thank you to all of my subscriber and casual viewers. I have a small surprise for you too, but that's an announcement for another video. Or maybe post? Anyway, thank you for watching and have a nice day. Bye bye! Oh right, my posting schedule will also change. Forgot about it. Bye!